Thank you to Quaker Cereal who's sponsoring a portion of today's video.
All right, so I feel like I learned a lot from this experience. In some sense, I feel like I was prepared for this entire experience with Maddie. I knew exactly what kind of hairstyle Maddie wanted because we've talked about this for a long time. All right, Matt, this is the final hairstyle you're going with?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're 100% sure that's what you want?
Yeah.
So before I get into this story, I want to give a quick shout out to Quaker who is sponsoring this portion of the video. So Charlotte and I have never been on the same page when it comes to the mornings. I've always been an early morning person and she is not. I get up at 4:30 in the morning to do my routine. I wake my kids up around 6:30 to start theirs and Charlotte sleeps in. I get everyone dressed and out the door by 7:45. Now Charlotte wakes up around 8 and this is where I try to have one-on-one time with her before her workday starts. And that's when I decided to add Quaker cereals into our before work starts morning routine. Quaker has a variety of cereal offerings to help families fuel for any morning with something nourishing and delicious, and it has come an essential piece of helping make a complete breakfast for me and Charlotte. Now before my workday starts, I go to the gym. So the Quaker Protein Granola with oats, chocolate, and almonds is a great addition to having a complete breakfast before hitting the gym. I get 10 grams of protein per serving, a good source of fiber with no added colors or artificial flavors. I make Charlotte the satisfying and delicious oatmeal squares with brown sugar, which always puts a smile on her face before starting work. The oatmeal squares also come in 2 other flavors that are just as delicious as the brown sugar. Quaker cereals help nourish the start of your day and have something for the whole family, no matter how you do your mornings. Thank you to Quaker for sponsoring this portion of the video, and make sure to check the link in the description to check out Quaker Oatmeal Cereals. Now back to the video.
Why do you like this hairstyle specifically?
Because it's kind of like braided with waterfall and it's rainbow.
Where I wasn't prepared is actually getting all the things for her hair. And I also wasn't prepared for what the experience will actually do for me and I think for Maddie in some regard too. I gotta tell you something though. The only thing about this hairstyle is that it's probably gonna hurt. Because with these braids, you see how like right here, how it's on her head?
Yeah.
You've never had that done to your hair before. And Daddy used to get this all the time and it hurts a little bit. But after some time, you
I
get
don't
used
want
to
to.
it. You don't want to do it?
No.
Why?
I don't want it to hurt.
But we don't know how much it's gonna hurt. How about we just try it? How about we choose this one, and then we'll choose one that probably won't hurt as much. Let's look at some other ones. So you can still wear beads, and all these don't attach to your head as much. So you can.
I want the purple one.
The purple ones?
How many dollars is it?
I actually don't know how much it costs. I'm gonna write her right now and figure out how much it costs and then set up your appointment and then we'll go. I thought I was gonna just walk into the store and it was gonna be easy. I was gonna get, beads and stuff. But the problem was I realized that with the kind of braids that Maddie wanted, and I think just her age too, I actually had to get, fake hair. And I found that out on my way going to the store. So that was added stress to the entire experience. I feel really unprepared going in here. And I feel like I'm gonna ask a bunch of questions. They're gonna look at me like I'm crazy. And me being unprepared makes me nervous. And I don't like it. So when I got there, I had to guess on what kind of hair color to get. Oh, this is so stressful. This is really, really stressful. Excuse me. Can I have some help finding some hair for my daughter, please? And then I realized when I was there, I was like, oh my God, when you have braids, you have to like sleep with like a bonnet. There's way too many options in here, bro. Like this is freaking stressful, dog. So I had to figure out the right kind of bonnet to get for Maddie. And that was this whole thing, because Maddie has this thing about, patterns and shapes and stuff. So I wanted to make sure I got the right thing. All right, so I'm feeling like I wish I would have did my research before. Because now I got the hair colors, I got the beads, I got all the stuff, and I'm just not feeling confident about this. So I'll just see what the heck happens. Daddy had a hard time picking out stuff, but I got you some surprises for your hair today. And you can look at them this morning before we go get your hair braided, okay? All right, it's over there in that black bag. You want to get it?
I want to see them.
Okay. Are these beads? Hold on, wait, Luca. You go wait. You're spoiled. Oh my God, bro. These are the beads that you're gonna have in your hair.
What are these beads for?
So those are white ones. So Daddy couldn't find, they didn't have 2 packs of these. So I got some white ones that match the white ones we're wearing, and we'll see what she can do. You like those?
What is this?
So when you get your hair braided, you have to wear that on your head so the braids don't get messed up. It's called a bonnet. And Daddy got you a cheetah print one. You like that? There was a zebra print one too, but I thought you liked cheetah over zebra. What do you think?
I like the cheetah.
Nice.
What is that?
This is hair.
She's gonna use this hair and your hair. We try to find colors that match your hair, and I think this brown with the black matches it well. At least I think it does. Your hair's kind of brown, honey, so I think this is gonna work well. This is the all brown one. So it's black at the top, and then there's brown at the bottom, and I think this matches well. Probably can choose, but I think you want the all brown one? You think the all brown one matches your hair? Okay, we'll see what she says when we get there, okay? All right. So we're gonna look one more time at the two hairstyles, okay? And you can choose which ones you want, all right? Okay, so there's this one, and then there's this one. This purple one right here. And you see Daddy used to have his hair braided like that too, right? Yeah. So which one do you want?
The rainbow.
You sure you want the rainbow one? You just like this hairstyle more? And why?
Because I never had it before.
But you never had the other one before either.
Yeah, but I had pigtails like some hair down before.
Okay. All right, honey, guess what? We're pulling up. Are you excited? This is where Daddy gets his haircut. You know, when we got there, you know, Diaria was super nice. We talked through the whole process. I asked Diaria, I said, hey, can we try this? Because this is what Maddie wants. And if she doesn't want to do it, could we switch? Which one do you want to do?
I'm still cutting.
You want to try that one? Like try a braid on her and see if she can kind of like it into her head?
Huh? Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we're going to try a braid on you first, okay? So we went for it, and it started off great. Are you nervous or are you excited? You excited? Now, I had braids growing up, and there's one part of the head that you get to that you know that once you get a braid right there, it sucks. And I knew that as soon as Diaria touched Maddie's head right there, it was gonna be over. Keep your head down. Wherever she puts your head, that's where you leave it there, okay? I think you're about to get your first braid. It's okay? Okay, good. So Maddie got through one whole braid, she was fine, and once we got to that point, I paid attention just watching her and I realized, yep, she's gonna tap out. And sure enough, she did. You wanna try the other side, honey? Mm-hmm. Okay. And I let Maddie, you know, it's gonna be all right, we can try the next hairstyle. So I felt prepared in this sense of knowing this was gonna happen, but still giving her the opportunity and letting Diaria know, hey, this is gonna be plan B, are we cool with this? You know, with my kids, I always want them to be able to choose the things that they wanna do, even if it feels, you know, dangerous or if it's a little bit on the edge of like me knowing that they're not going to be able to do it. I still want them to do it. By them making their own decisions, and going for that thing, even if it's hard or if it's easy or if it's good or whatever the case may be, they made that decision. And I want them to be able to like grasp that understanding and skill now for later on, because I just know that's gonna be good for them. Here's another thing. I completely forgot how long it actually takes to get braids. For some reason, I thought we were gonna go there for like 45 minutes and be done. But I was like, oh wow, we're gonna be here for a minute. And that minute ended up being like 3.5 hours. I didn't bring anything to distract Maddie or keep her occupied, I should say, while getting her hair braided. You know, I want her to be able to go through these things and not be distracted and be in it, but I realize right now she's too young to really understand that. She can't comprehend that kind of thing. So I gave her my phone and she was able to watch some shows that she likes. But although I had it, I knew at some point she was gonna tap out. It's a new stimulant in a lot of ways. A stimulant the right word? It's a new, what's the word for like, not stimulant, it's a new sense for her, like touch, sound, smell, all that stuff. Like this experience for her was new. There's a lot of new things coming to her. Somebody's touching her head, she's watching a show, I'm watching her, we're in a new environment. So I knew at some point it was gonna be too much for her. And it got to the point where, you know, she was really tapping out. Like she didn't really want to do it anymore, but we were going through it and I told myself, I said, no matter what happens, we're getting through this together. And that was tough. That was really tough for her. And it was also tough for me too. Almost done. See, look, that wasn't bad. Was that one okay? Huh? And I felt like I was feeling this sense of like anxiety and like fear and almost like guilt. All these kind of more on the negative side emotions that I was feeling because
I don't really even know why I was feeling that way. But I knew that I was willing to get through that and not have her quit, because I know on the other end, on the other side of all those emotions is something much better when you decide to do the thing that you put your mind to. I've learned this through football, and I've learned this through trials and tribulations of my life. And this is the exact reason why I want my kids to say, hey, I wanna do this. Although this is scary, I wanna back out. I'm still gonna do it because it's something I'm more focused, because I chose this for the end goal. I didn't choose this because of the journey to get to the end goal. I was more excited to get on that side of the experience with Maddie, more so than like, you know, giving up because I felt guilty or hurt or afraid or whatever the case may be. And I'm sure she was feeling some of that stuff too. As we started to get to the end, it was still tough because we had a few braids left, and some of the braids were in the hardest spots of the head. You know, sometimes I had to hold her head. Sometimes I had to like be tough with her and tell her to, you know, to sit still. But I just realized as we got to the end, I saw that feeling of like, I did it. You know, I saw that on Maddie's face. And we got through it. And when we were done, she was extremely happy.
Are you so happy? Was it worth it? Huh?
I'm happy.
You're happy? I'm glad you're happy.
And the cool part was, you know, we showed Charlotte, we showed, you know, Luca when we got home.
It looks so great. Do you like it? What do you think?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, Luca.
Did it take, oh, don't pull on them. Did it take a long time?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it hurt.
it did hurt a little bit.
But I was able to drive her to school the next day, and we were able to show, you know, her teachers and her friends. And that was just such a cool experience, because that's that feeling of like, I did it, and now I get to show what I did. And I've experienced it so much in my life, man, with like all the accolades that I've gotten from school and sports and like, you know, healing relationships and all these things. And I'm able to take that huge life lesson that worked for me and pass it on to my kids, and specifically Maddie in this instance, of like sticking with something that you want to do, because you're focused on the end result more so than the journey to get to that thing. So going to her school was awesome, and you know, her teachers and her friends loved it. You know, I figured out the whole bonnet thing. You know, I ended up buying the wrong one and had to get another one that made more sense for her hair.
Are you ready to go get a wrap after school? Okay, you ready to get a wrap for Maddie? Yeah.
And you know, I figured it out, and Maddie did it, and she loved it, and the experience was beautiful.
Do you like it?
One thing that was interesting is that I recognized that Luca, you know, a lot of attention was on Maddie, and I saw for the first time Luca being like a little jealous of like, hey, you know, I want some, you know, attention, or I want some, you know, I want braids, whatever that is she's wrestling with. I noticed it. And now I realize that, you know, it's not about being even, but I want to do something with Luca too, so she can learn that lesson that I taught Maddie with the braids. And now I get to give that to Luca as well. And Luca also feels seen. And I'm kind of wrestling with that as a dad right now too. Is like, you know, it's not about doing even things for the kids. It's about distributing, like, you know, opportunity and learning for them, more so than like, you know, if you get braids, if Maddie gets braids, you get braids and you get braids. It's like, no, like that's not really how I think about it. So yeah, the experience was beautiful, and got a feeling that I'm gonna be taking my daughter to get braids and hairstyles a lot. And I'm just excited to see what those experiences are like for all of us. So that was good, and I loved it. And yeah, that's all I got. So till next time.